Hi, it's Jason John Byron here. You've been watching The Property Game, and now what I want to do is take you behind the scenes, and I've decided to show you the people that supply our products. So we've got Ned here from James Hardie.
Thanks, Jason. Yes.
So do you want to tell me a little bit so the viewers know about James Hardie, where it started, where you actually manufacture it, and then where can you supply it around Australia?
Excellent. Thanks for the opportunity to speak. So James Hardie's been in Australia for over 130 years. We actually manufacture in Australia, one plant in Rose Hill in Sydney and one plant in Carroll Park, which is in Brisbane. And we manufacture there, we then distribute nationally through our distribution network.
So if you're in Australia, you can get access to the
You can get it anywhere, yeah, basically.
That's the best thing. And now we're in Brisbane, sunny Brisbane, and the council up here are very much about lightweight materials. In Sydney, you know, you've got different type of materials, but it's still, there's so many different types of cladding options that James Hardie do, right?
100%.
So you're going to see it all around Australia. Now with this particular build, there was two major products that we needed. And from a property developer point of view, the reason that we use James Hardie specifically is one, because the builders love using it, right? Because they know they can get access to it.
Yep.
And supply, and that's a very important thing these days. And obviously we've got to look for cost-effective solutions. So one of the things that we tell a lot of people is that the front of a house has to give you a wow factor.
100%.
So that's where we need to spend a bit of money on materials, but down the side of a house, we don't want to have it totally ugly, but we want a cost-effective solution. But it also has to be of high quality.
Yep.
Because obviously there's lots of storms up here in Queensland, and so the waterproofing is super important.
Yep.
Now, how long's James Hardie been around for, and how do you test all your products and that type of stuff?
Look, we've been around, as I said, 130 years. All our products are quality tested in the factory. I think the other thing that we've got to support your builder network is, or developer network, is we've got a fantastic technical team. So if you've got any questions about where and how to use the products, it's just a phone call away. The other thing is, you know, when you're using lightweight cladding, as you mentioned, what we're going to do is maximize the actual usable space of the house. We're going to push the outside of the house out as far as we can and make the most of what land size we have, which again is going to increase your yield in terms of square meters, reduce the cost of construction, and also finish with a quality product that's easy to install.
Yeah. Now, most of the time, when you're a developer, you're probably going to be working with your builder, because your builder will go and get those particular products. So you'll be mainly dealing with my builder, right, on most of the situations. But it's important that when we're designing it, even when I'm sitting down with the builder, that I look at certain type of materials that I could use to save me money or within my budget.
Yep. So I think the thing is, at the moment, you know, there's lots of fantastic design trends. There's the Hampton look, there's the modern look, there's the coastal look. So I guess, you know, we've got a product that meets every single one of those looks. And, you know, in these homes here, we've got a great modern facade, and we've got our Easy Lap product and our Hardie Tex product being used just to create that really slimline, modern, sleek look.
Yeah, now the one thing, and we're about to get into this later, but you're constantly evolving with new products.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's hard to keep
up.
How
do you keep up? Yeah, your books like this,
yeah.
And that's really good. Now, this particular product behind us, we've used it on the interior here, and it's called Easy Lap, and we've used it on the exterior as well. Now, one of the things that we used to do with this particular product is we used to batten in wood alongside it. So you can see right now this particular product has a shadow line in the middle, but we used to actually put a piece of wood over the top of that as well. Now we don't have to do that.
No, well, I think the thing is, you can certainly, from a decorative perspective, you can still put battens on the outside, but from a installation and waterproofing perspective, the shiplap joints of our sheets don't require any more waterproofing over the top. So install the sheets, paint, finish, done.
And you think, I mean, building anything and making profit out of this game is about time.
Yeah.
So if we can save time, then we can develop things quicker, get them on the market, there's less holding cost, and so that's a beautiful thing, okay?
Absolutely.
So with this particular one here, if we can just put it on and finish it, and you've got that beautiful shadow line on there, which actually resembles another one of your products called Matrix.
Correct.
Matrix panel, is
yes,
it?
Yeah. So Matrix was developed to produce a commercial look for a residential property. Like, it's a fantastic product, and you possibly would use it on the front facade of as you said, to give the wow factor from the street. possibly not on the sides where Matrix is expensive. It's a premium product. You would go to a more cost-effective product for the down the sides and the back of the home.
And the thing that everyone loved about Matrix was the shadow.
Yeah, it gives that.
So we've achieved that now with this, which is
Yeah.
fantastic. Now, the next product that we've used in this particular house is what is commonly known as blue board, which is Hardie Tex.
Yes,
okay.
correct.
Now, the blue board product is very waterproof. It's the first thing,
Yep.
you know, when you think of it. And we want to do a geometric shape.
Yeah.
And so we spec the blue board and then we rendered over it. And you'll see it now in front of you. You'll see how we've particularly used this blue board, then rendered over to get that effect. Now that was really cost efficient for us, but the wow factor of design was fantastic.
Yeah, so blue board is great for giving that monolithic finish, seamless finish. As you mentioned, we are continually evolving. We've actually since stopped manufacturing blue board and we've replaced it with another product called Hardie Fine Texture Cladding.
Okay, so tell them about this.
So if you look at blue board...
So say it again, what is it?
Hardie Fine Texture Cladding. Effectively, when you use blue board, you're installing a sheet, you're then setting the joints and you're rendering and you're painting. And you just mentioned there's a time for each of those.
I was just adding that up in my head.
A time for each of those components. And if you're working off scaffold, if you're working on 2-story, that means the scaffold's up for another week. And there's a cost involved there. With Hardie Fine Texture Cladding, the texture is already in the board. So that the board is literally installed and painted, finished.
So let me get this right. So it's a board with the render already applied to it.
Correct.
So what about colour though? Do I paint it after or can you do that?
It comes primed in a fairly light colour. You just paint it whatever colour you want. And I think that's the other thing is with blue board, our recommendation has always been to not paint it a dark colour because potentially the joints can crack due to the compounds used for setting the joints. With Hardie Fine Texture Cladding, you could paint it black. It doesn't move. Yeah, you get any colour.
That's funny because for some of our houses we have painted black and it's probably the worst colour you can paint because it has so many colours of shades.
Yeah, correct.
If you do white, it's fine. The blacks and that's very modern look now, right? To have the blacks and the browns.
Very on trend. Yeah, so any of those dark, Monument, I forget some of the other names, some of those really dark colours have zero effect on the performance of the board. So you can paint them whatever colour you want and you're going to get the trendy look.
So I think on our next one, we're going to be using that.
That's it.
Now, one of the applications, if you can imagine this, you're doing your front of your house or your townhouses, whatever units, whatever you've got there, right? And you want that render look. Now, sometimes you've had to use certain types of foam boards or blue boards and the render has to come along and do it. Now you can save a lot of cost and you can save a lot of time. Imagine your whole render at your house is all done in one step.
Correct. Yep, no mess, no time, no waste.
Yeah.
And no cost for rendering.
Fantastic, that's great. Now, what are the other things quickly that James Hardie does? So if you can save a different division, so you do the cladding.
Correct.
So that's such things as, Easy Lap.
Yep.
One of the, Stria.
Correct, Stria, Axon, Matrix we've mentioned. One of our biggest sellers is our linear weatherboard. So if you're going for that Hampton or coastal look or inner city development, some of the council requirements for the new built form has to match in with existing areas, and sometimes that is a weatherboard. So our linear weatherboard is on point for a nice thick chunky classic look, but also meets the Hamptons, meets the modern coastal, so that's a classic. We also provide flooring, so our fibre cement flooring. You've got your sophites, that you're always putting in. Hardie Groove, another one of our VJ looking boards, traditionally used inside.
I'll have to have a look at that.
Yeah, to give that old VJ look. So these are really popular in the current market in terms of the built form and the trends that are going.
Okay, so if you want to find out more about the products that we've used on this one and some of the products mentioned, what you're going to do is just go to thinkpropertyclub.tv and we're going to have links there for you so you can hear all about it, and then you'll be able to download some brochures of some of the products as well.
Fantastic.
Thanks very much.
Thanks for your time, Jason.
See you next
time.
time.
Good on you. Cheers.